Good evening, fastball fans, and welcome to the 2018 ISC World Tournament here in Kitchener, Ontario at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. This evening's matchup features the visiting New York Gremlins taking on the home team and the co-host team, the Kitchener Hallman Cubs, in winners bracket action here on the ISC network. I'm Blair Setford with Joe Todd this evening. Joe Todd, you were just witness to it. Circle Tap Dukes, a 3-1 upset win, the number 5 Dukes over the number 1 Hill United Chiefs. Can the Kitchener Cubs, the number 6 team, upset the number 2 team? Let's find out.
They'd love to do that tonight.
Quemo Mata on the board for the Kitchener Hallman Cubs. Bob Gillow, Alan Picare, and Blake Underwood left right across your outfield. Matt Lyon, Dan Mitchell, Adam Hiller, Colin Walsh are on the infield. It's Mata throwing to Juan Zera. Bunt attempt here by Matthew Waugh, leading things off for the New York Gremlins. He will be followed by Jerome Remeke, Ben Inoka, Andrew Kirkpatrick, Eric Ochoa in the 5 spot, Ladislaw Mallerzuk, Zenon Winters, Brian Avery, and Nick Mullins in the 9 spot for the Gremlins tonight. Quemo Mata having a good week here, Joe Todd. He won the game, giving up only 1 hit through 6 innings last night against the Ostrander Norsemen. Donnie Scott ran into a little bit of trouble, but was able to close out the game. Mata, though, has been the mainstay on the board for the Cubs. This one is belted. It's going to settle, though, into the glove of center fielder Alan Picare. And, Joe, this humid, heavy, thick air has been knocking balls down all afternoon. You think they're hard hit, and they're settling into the outfield.
Again, good center field there by Alan Picare to track that ball down off the bat. Very important they track that ball off the bat. Good read.
So that'll bring up Jerome Remeke playing third base tonight for the New York Gremlins. Good to see Jerome Remeke back here in North America after a 2-year absence, away for a knee injury and some other treatments and things like that. And even this year had to go home due to the death of a family member. And we do pass along our condolences to the Remeke family. He's missing outside.
Game 62 of 70.
We're getting down to the short numbers, aren't we?
Yes, we are. There'll be some big games coming forward.
Well, tomorrow will be an absolutely massive day here at the ISC and on the ISC network. We will be bringing you 5 games starting at 10 a.m. as our producer, Nick Cadiz, cringes at the thought of 5 games here in the booth with the likes of us.
Thank you.
Sports Canada TV, your production unit here this week on ISC Network, doing an absolutely great job here this week, bringing all of the audience worldwide the games here from the 2018 ISC World Tournament here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard in Kitchener, Ontario. We've had some rain on and off today, and that's why we are about 3 hours late. We had a lengthy delay at around 4:30 p.m. until about 5:45. And it's just been one of those days here in Kitchener. Still got a bit of a healthy crowd, we're happy to say, as the host team, the Cubs, still drawing the fans. Earlier today, the other co-host team, Kitchener Hallman Twins, stayed alive. Up and in, ball 4 from Quemo Mata to Jerome Remeke. That will bring up the ever-dangerous Ben Inoka. He and brother Campbell both homered in the same inning yesterday afternoon. We were wondering if that was an ISC first.
Record book. Something record book material.
Well, it could very well be. Brothers homering in the same inning. Benny, of course, in the 3 spot this week for the Gremlins. Traditionally a leadoff batter, prototypical leadoff batter, probably even more power than what you would expect at the top of the order, but also very well suited for the 3 spot. Makes great contact, can hit the ball out of the park, hits the ball well to all fields. Inside, and of course has a great eye. Likes to let the ball travel into the strike zone and will hit the ball hard to center and center right. Remeke with good speed over at first. Wanzera, a very good arm behind home plate. Adam Hiller is shaded up the middle. Just misses upstairs.
And Umada falling behind in the count. You saw the effects of a lot of walks in that previous game.
Well, Joe Todd, you started to talk about that during the broadcast on the game. Adam Falkert, 6 walks in the game, unheard of.
Very uncharacteristic for Adam.
Beninoka will foul this one off to the right side, and you're not seeing things on your screen. It is still sprinkling out there just a little bit. It is very damp here in Kitchener. It's just been one of those afternoons and evenings. Still very humid here as well. Big healthy cut, and I think Beninoka would like that pitch back.
Just missed it. Umada, though, working the count back to even at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
On deck is Andrew Kirkpatrick, and Joe Todd, this game a throwback. Both pitchers not only batting 4th in the lineup. Oh, swing and a miss. Well, not a miss, but a foul back. Beninoka is right on these pitches from Umada. Just can't square one up at the moment. Perhaps a good time for a changeup, but Beninoka has really got good hands and is able to keep those hands back when he sees the change.
Umada have to, if he does come with that change, it has to be low.
Seeing a few more umbrellas pop up in the stands in front of us. Upstairs, so 3-2. 1 down in the inning. Matthew Waugh lined out to center. If you're just getting in with us here on the ISC network, it's Blair Setford, Joe Todd on the Late Show here on the ISC network. It may not be late where you are, but it's late here. And another foul off. Are we up to 10 pitches yet? We got to be close.
I think we would be. Real good battle we have going here.
It's a full count on the board. Beninoka at the plate. Umada on the board. Jerome Remeke is out at first. Foul off again.
Beninoka getting a bat on that ball. Just trying to protect till he gets his pitch.
A win here would certainly make the Gremlins the prohibitive favorites to win their first ISC championship. They'd still have to get through the winner's bracket game. That will be against the Circle Tap Dukes tomorrow night.
You don't want to miss that one.
Upstairs, ball 4. You do not want to miss that one, indeed. And how interesting would it be, Joe Todd, if Roman Godoy were to take on the New York Gremlins tomorrow night, his former team, who let him leave to go to the Circle Tap Dukes? You think there might be a little bit of motivation on the part of Roman
think so.
Godoy?
I would think so. He won't take much to get him out of bed tomorrow.
I'll tell you this, there's a good Hallman Cubs team standing in the way of the Gremlins, but the Gremlins threatening early. A couple of walks, one to Remeke, one to Anoka, and that brings up Andrew Kirkpatrick. Big healthy cut there from Kirkpatrick. We're going to ask if that was a foul ball or not.
Our umpiring crew tonight: home plate John Hand, first base Ed Otterman, third base Brandon Bloom. All converging now.
These are 3 of the absolute best on the field. And we are going with foul ball as both Remeke and Anoka will be sent backwards 60 feet. Just from seeing it live, I certainly had the impression it was a foul ball. We don't have the best angle of it from up here in the booth. You've got a great angle right there in your living room. Zara wants to go chat. John Hand, for my money, Joe Todd, one of the absolute best, if not the best umpire. And it's hard, it's a degree of separation, obviously.
Yeah.
I think all of them have done a tremendous job here this week. But John Hand, to me, really excels here in the men's game. He knows how to handle the teams, knows how to handle the game. It was a called strike. He's got a terrific strike zone that is consistent all game long. And I don't think he really misses calls, to be honest. I haven't seen it. I've had him twice here this week. Unbelievable.
Again, and that's why he's in this position, being later on in the week, being assigned this tough game. Because of the great job he's done in the earlier games.
Brandon Bloom, who's on third base, did the plate in the 4 p.m. game, the ISC 2 championship game, as this one is lifted down the left field side. Making a diving attempt is Dan Mitchell. The full-on Kevin Pillar Superman slide into the wet grass, which probably let him slide for another 32 feet. That's almost like one of those slip and slide games, Joe.
Yes. I'll pass on playing that game tonight.
You're not in?
No.
No. Plenty of pop at the plate in Andrew Kirkpatrick, the MVP at the U.S. Nationals a week ago. Now, almost 2 weeks now.
Mumata way up in the count now, gets a pitch to work with.
Just misses downstairs.
Sarah setting up outside, hitting the mitt.
And again, same spot, same result almost, just a little bit lower this time around. And another meeting out on the mound, and Hand is going to follow Zara right out there. Everybody wants this game to get going. Nobody wants to be here till 3 in the morning. We will if we have to.
I had 11:01 as our start time.
Swing, foul back, caught. Brought that one up in the zone. Zara able to squeeze on the foul tip. So Kirkpatrick down on strikes for the second out of the inning. This will bring up Eric Ochoa.
Big strikeout by Mata.
Ochoa hit one of the hardest balls I've seen hit here this week, Joe, in the early week game with the Gremlins and the Niagara Snappers. It was right at Brent Thompson. I talked to Brent afterwards, and he said his hand was sore for about the rest of that game and an hour afterwards. This one is fouled straight back. We might have a play on this one if it comes down. Ochoa absolutely stinging the ball here this week, having a great week.
Ochoa has really quick hands and a great turn as that bat advances through that strike zone.
You see him holding it up there. Ochoa's out of Mexico, but has become, I believe, a naturalized U.S. citizen and is now on the U.S. men's team. I believe he is scheduled to go over to Prague for the Intercontinental Cup coming up at the end of this month. Team USA there, the Czechs, the Black Sox, Argentina, amongst others, Japan, will be all taking part in that test event for the World Cup, which will be in Prague next June. Cuemo Mata very likely to be there for Team Argentina. I can't see why he wouldn't be.
No, I would think he'd be part of that staff.
As would Ladislav Malor-Zuk, for that matter. Upstairs, Malor-Zuk is on deck. A lot of pitches thrown here in the top of the first, Joe.
Yes, Emil Mata not agreeing with the count there, walking off the mound.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ochoa with the bat held high. Now we'll bring it back above the shoulders. And a swing and a miss. Good rise ball there, swinging right underneath that pitch. Down goes Eric Ochoa. So Hoemo Mata works into and out of trouble here at the top of the first. Stay with us. We'll head to the bottom. The Kitchener-Hallman Cubs coming to the plate.
To an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Alan Picard will lead things off for the Hallman Cubs here in the home half of the first inning. He'll be followed by Colin Walsh, Juan Zera, Hoemo Mata in the cleanup spot, Blake Underwood, Dan Mitchell, Bobby Gillow, Matt Lyon, and Adam Hiller in the 9 spot for the Cubs tonight. Matthew Waugh, Ben Anoka, Brian Avery left to right across the outfield, Jerome Remeke, Jenner Christensen, Ladislaw Malarzouk, and Eric Ochoa around the horn on the infield. And as you see directly in front of you, it is Nick Mullins catching for Andrew Kirkpatrick for the Gremlins. Mullins caught in Division I baseball at the University of Pittsburgh several years back and did some catching for Team USA up in Whitehorse last summer. Our UIC Bruce Bierman just informed me that John Hand and Lou Davis are also going to Prague as umpires for the Intercontinental Cup. John Hand being sent by USA Softball and Lou Davis by Softball Canada.
If either one of those guys would like a bellboy to carry their luggage, I will gladly volunteer my time.
Well, I believe we're going to have Jakub Kopriva in from Czech Softball tomorrow. So, Joe, we will talk with Jakub about the Intercontinental Cup and the World Cup in 2019 and how things are progressing with Czech softball. There are several Czech players here this week, a lot of them with Bear Bottom Lodges. Down on strikes goes Alan Picard to lead things off. Colin Walsh will come to the plate, and Joe Todd, and I look over your studiously put together notes. Colin Walsh is having a week here for the Hallman Cubs, 7 for 11, 4 RBIs, and he got 3 of them the other night in the game against Ostrander in his first 2 at bats. Inside from Kirkpatrick. Called a strike.
Very tough to keep Colin Walsh out of that Hallman Cubs lineup.
Downstairs. Colin, a left-handed pitcher, and a natural there for first base. Also an exceptional outfielder. Plays a lot of right field back at home in the St. John's Newfoundland League when he's not pitching. Fouled that one off. And a good young ball player, made Team Canada up in Whitehorse, started and pitched the opening game, suffered an injury in that game and didn't get much time thereafter as he was nursing that injury for the 10 days of the tournament. Outside.
Was that a hand injury? I believe it was a hand injury, wasn't it?
I thought it was a shoulder. He had that collision at first base. Yep. Swing and a miss, down goes Colin Walsh. So 2 quick strikeouts for Andrew Kirkpatrick. Alan Picard, Colin Walsh, both down on strikes. We'll bring up Juan Zera. at least one other game still going on over on the diamond in the distance. You can see the ball flying back and forth way at the top of your screen over there. I'm guessing that's a Legends 50-plus game, but I'm not entirely sure. It could also be a U23 game, as both of those tournaments got underway here today at the ISC World Tournament and related activities. Lots of action here at the park today, and the rain that was forecast mostly stayed away. We had I want to say, what, Joe, about an hour and a half delay from 4 till about 5:30, quarter to 6.
Yes, about 75, 80-minute delay.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, anyway.
Yep.
And for everything that was forecast, we really didn't get that much, knock on wood. Hopefully we're not going to get it tomorrow. Once again, tomorrow, it's a packed schedule. There's nowhere to move any games. We're utilizing the 3 fields here, plus the couple of fields over at Bud Park for the U23 and the Legends games. This one is well hit, deep right field, going back to the fence. A diving catch at the fence, and we got an out. What a great play by Brian Avery.
Fantastic grab. Fantastic read by Avery to read that ball off the bat. Never took his eyes off the ball. Avery tracking it right through, crashed through the fence, part of the fence, making that 3rd out of the inning.
Unbelievable catch. That's the kind of ball you see here at the ISC World Tournament.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and Indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an Indigenous perspective. Listen live at jukasaradio.ca or download the Jukasa Radio app free from your app store.
The booth still a buzz here about that play by Brian Avery to end the bottom of the 1st inning. Juan Cruzera hitting one about as far as you can on a line. Brian Avery tracks it back to the fence, leaps, times the dive perfectly, and carries the ball out of the park. It's a catch and carry. It's an out. And what a spectacular play just to end the 1st inning. What else have we got in store here tonight?
Going to be a great game. Aren't you glad you stayed tuned?
For the Gremlins, in the top of the 2nd inning, it'll be Ladislaw Mallerzuk, Zenon Winters, and wouldn't you know it, Brian Avery. How often, Joe Todd, do you see when a guy makes a great play like that, he's due up the next inning and typically comes up with a big hit as well?
Obviously that momentum that he carried defensively, he hopefully extends that over to the offensive side of his game.
Waimamata, 20 innings pitched so far this week, 7 hits, only 3 runs, 5 walks, but 27 strikeouts so far.
Waimamata needs a lot quicker inning than he did back in that 1st inning, threw a lot of pitches.
And not very quick pace in terms of the pace of play. Certainly throws the ball hard enough, but it was a lot of time in between pitches, very deliberate. Chop foul. Mallerzuk has got a lot of power. We saw that in the video that's been up on Facebook for a couple of weeks now in the winners bracket final of the USA National Tournament. Working a count on Adam Falkert and then launching one out to the moon. Just an absolute bomb off the bat of Ladislaw Mallerzuk. Swing and a miss there, chases upstairs, down on strikes. That's 3 in a row now for Waimamata. finding the range after a couple of walks in the first.
A lot quicker pace and went out and challenged the batter there.
Here's a guy that's really hard to strike out, a great contact hitter, Zenon Winters, 3 for 6 so far in his World Tournament. The Gremlins have 3 mercies, so they've only played 15 innings in 3 games, so it's hard to get the number of at-bats, Joe, that you need when you're scoring a lot of runs, but you're only really getting 2.5, 3 bats a game. You're not exactly piling them up by the time you count substitutions and everything else to empty the bench.
Most of these teams scheduling a batting practice in between their times off on the diamonds.
Called strike on the outside corner. And up and in.
All even now, 2-2 count. Zenon Winters.
The rain seems to have subsided here for the minute. We've been dodging the weather all day long at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. We had a couple of drizzles during the noon hour games. Came off the field for about 3 minutes. It passed and right back out. And of course we had the downpour around 4:30, which lasted for half an hour. Up and in.
This diamond drains fairly well, so.
Yeah, I thought they did. The grounds crew did a tremendous job. They let it soak in to the extent that they could. They put down the absorball material. They brought out the rakes and great back control right there from Zenon Winters to almost short hop that one right at the plate, almost like a cricket swing. Full count on Winters, 1 down in the inning. Zenon, one of our international player reps here on the ISC. A lot of input onto the players committee. And there's ball 4 downstairs. 3rd walk of the game here, only in the 2nd inning. And this is what Mata will have to look out for, is putting guys on base for free.
Yeah, those free passes will eventually catch up to you.
Here's the hero of the moment, Brian Avery, stealing a home run from Juan Zera. He's the only reason this game is still scoreless. Big cut from Avery. Avery mostly a pull hitter. Center to left is his power zone.
Mata going to be very careful with Avery. I would think he'd be working the outside portion of the plate.
Up and out. Winters runs well, but I can tell you, Joe, from being out there, it's a very slow track right now. It's still a little soft.
Yeah, you noticed that on a few ground balls last game.
Right into the glove of Mata to 2 for 1, back to 1 for 2. Call it a double play. Defense being flashed here by both of these teams. We're going to stay scoreless, headed to the bottom half of the 2nd coming up.
A legendary pitcher. Unbreakable records.
That's got a mile. Goes a mile high to the wall, to the track. Say bye-bye baseball. it up and going back to left field. What a great grab. Off speed is deep, and you can get out of this ballpark.
5 Hall of Famers. 3 World Championships.
And that ball is driven out deep.
Pitch from Parker is driven deep. Shane Boland to the fence. It's gone. Shane Boland has hit the game-winning home run.
The Toronto Gators, gone but not forgotten.
Speaking, Joe, of the Toronto Gators, Terry Bader elected to the ISC Hall of Fame for the 2019 induction ceremony.
Congratulations, Terry.
Saw Terry at the park earlier today. Had hoped that we could get him up to chat tonight on the broadcast, but he was headed back home to London. A little past Terry's bedtime here at 11:30 at night. Also going in will be Patrick Shannon, Jimmy Wana, formerly Seaman, as this one is lifted straight up in the air into foul territory. Remeke will haul that in right around the vicinity of third baseman on the foul side. Corey Garou will be the third player going in the player category. And they will be joined by Darren Derricks of Circle Tap. Of course, Joe Todd, his team tonight, the talk of the town with the big upset win over the Hill United Chiefs. The first loss suffered by the Chiefs earlier than a Friday or Saturday at the ISC World Tournament.
I'm sure they're celebrating back in the Circle Tap bar.
Yeah, there might have even been a round on the house after that. Ramon Godoy, the emotion that poured out of Ramon Godoy after that win, just terrific to see how invested he was in that game and getting the win. Blake Underwood at the plate, the right fielder for the Cubs. Swing and a miss there. Cheese turned up the dial. Andrew Kirkpatrick. Real good snap right now. And Joe, when he's pushing off that board and gets to beyond the edge of that 8-foot circle, it's almost like he's handing the ball off to Nick Mullins.
He's very tough when he gets into that pattern, that routine, and he gets a little bit of confidence. He is tough to slow down.
Mullins will go out for a chat. I don't think they're on the same page, and if somebody throws as hard as Kirkpatrick does, you don't want to be surprised by a rise ball when you're thinking it's going down.
Mullins, a good leader back there.
Upstairs, good eye by Blake Underwood. The Team Canada brass are here this week. We had John Stewart in for a chat yesterday evening. And John telling us that they will be announcing a 23-man roster, 17 players and 5 alternates. They will announce that by October 1st, following this year's Canadian Men's Championship. As here's a ground ball that eats up the shortstop, Jenner Christensen, on to first. They get one there. That almost seemed like it was going to be a tailor-made double play ball, but Christensen coming in on it as he had to charge it, bobbled it for a second, able to corral it and still get Danny Mitchell at first.
But a great gun by Christensen, getting that big out at first base.
So 2 down in the inning, move Blake Underwood up to second base, and just to complete that story, Blake Underwood, I have to think, will be in competition for one of those 23 spots. John Stewart said there's about 5 positions open, he thinks, on the main 17-man roster, and he expects a lot of competition for those jobs. Important to have a good ISC here, and then to have a good Canadian Men's Championship coming up in St. Croix in Nova Scotia at the end of the month. Team Canada not going to Prague. They elected to focus as this one skips, gets away from Mullins. But in all the confusion, Blake Underwood unable to advance. Sometimes you think the guy's going to come up with the ball, and in his haste to grab it, he drops it again. And by the time you would get started, but he's going to have the ball and throw you out. So sometimes discretion, the better part of valor, and getting back to the base was about the best that Underwood could do there.
He's still in scoring position, so.
That's right. A base knock will bring in Blake Underwood. Runs very well. Bobby Gillow at the plate. We talked a lot about Bobby last night, one of the original Cubs on this team, back all the way to the Elmira Cubs days in 2004, 2005. Bobby used to be a dead pull hitter, uses a lot of the field now. Will hit to center and left. Inside from Kirkpatrick. 3 balls, 1 strike. Kirkpatrick cruised through the first. A little bit more difficulty here in the second. And there's the second walk of the inning. That'll put runners on first and second. It will bring up Matt Lyon. Matt Lyon, not an original Cub, but a guy who has been in the area, the Niagara area, played with Jarvis coming out of junior, and played with that Jarvis club for several years. He and Adam Dearborn, Matty Lyon, a couple years with the Niagara Snappers, and over to the Kitchener Cubs for the last several years. And this one is popped up to short right. Avery will come in for this one and make the two-handed grab for the last out of the inning. So we will be scoreless through 2 complete here on the ISC Network.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Well, Joe Todd, we will be off to Denmark, Wisconsin to Circle Tap next year for the 2019 ISC World Tournament. They will be hosting for the first time at the legendary Circle Tap Bar, and all kinds of improvements to that diamond that you saw there in the Circle Tap ad. That's been completely renovated. They've added in-ground dugouts similar to what they've got here at Peter Hallman Ball Yard, all kinds of other improvements. Press box facility, and then the 2 satellite diamonds in the town of Denmark are being totally redone as well in anticipation of next year's ISC World Tournament. And I'll tell you, I'm anticipating going to Circle Tap and to Denmark just as much as anywhere else we've gone in the last few years. Really looking forward to that one, a first for us next summer.
Very much looking forward as well, Blair. It's a beautiful part of the country as well.
Nick Mullins at the plate, the 9-batter for the New York Gremlins. They've put runners on board in each of the first 2, but have been unable to capitalize. Took a little bit off that one. Mata's got a good change. It's not as good as Roman Godoy's, who's got a world-class changeup. Still, it's a good one. He can change speeds. As hard as Mata throws, that becomes very effective. Our ball fan, the Terrier downstairs, a little excited about that foul ball.
Still pretty keen.
For a game that's only in the third, Joe, we've already had a couple of pretty good defensive plays out there. We have Brian Avery crashing through the fences. Mullins, 1-2 hopper, picked up by Matt Lyon, and easily throws out Mullins at first, 5-3.
Lyon covers a lot of territory over there. Great range, good arm.
Well, I was just going to talk about that double play that ended the last inning as well. Hard hit ball off the bat of Brian Avery. Right into the gloves, snared easily by Huemo Mata. The turn, the flip to second, and on to first for the inning-ending double play. We're back to the top of the chalk for Matthew Waugh. Turns, bunts, lays this one down. That's a foul ball. Picked up and chucked out to right field. And fortunately for Juan Zera, he picked that up in foul territory because he just gave right fielder Blake Underwood something to do. Matty Waugh with plenty of pop, but also the ability to drop down a bunt at any time, and he's got the wheels to leg it out.
Yeah, that's the ingredient there that you talked about, those wheels. Great speed.
Check and swing, no, says our third base umpire, Brandon Bloom. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is a pretty potent trio at the top of the New York Gremlins order. Matthew Waugh, Jerome Remeke, and Ben Inoka. All of them have hit leadoff on their various club teams in the past.
Really shows you the strength of that Gremlins lineup, though.
Well, this team, Joe, to me, has been purpose-built for one reason, to beat Adam Falkert. All of these guys who were brought in, Remeke, Anoka, Ochoa, they've all had success against Adam Falkert in the past. There's a little flare. That's easily caught by Lyons, who's got both outs so far here this inning. We'll bring up Remeke. Remeke walked back in the first inning, got as far as second, but no farther. It seems like this guy has been around forever, Joe, 4 or 5 years, but he came up here as a 17-year-old, so just in his early 20s still, and a bright, bright future in the game. I think potentially a future captain of his national team. Great leadership. Lots of skill.
And a great guy.
Very good guy. And there's a little bit of a swagger to him as well, which, nothing wrong with that.
Yep. As long as you carry it appropriately.
Called strike.
Mata working that outside corner of that plate.
He's been very effective out on that corner.
Make sure that Remeke can't extend those arms.
Upstairs, big swing, comes up empty. Huemo Mata sits down the side. We're going to go to the home half of the third inning. Still looking for a hit, still looking for a run here on the ISC network.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Kitchener River Shark Twins repeat. Back-to-back Jets! It's the local kid who wins it.
Swing and a miss. Jarvis, 3-peats.
Adam Falkert, absolutely.
Here comes the throw to the plate. Are the world champions. 2015 ISC Men's World Champions.
Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run, and the Toronto Gators are world champions.
Physically, it's Adam on the first, and the Canine
Adam Hiller with the first bit of the ball game slides into second. A little flare, just a punch out onto the grass in left field. It falls into no man's land in between Matthew Waugh and Jenner Christensen. And Adam Hiller still runs very well, sliding into second with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the third inning.
You can get some production of that. Number 9 guy really sets up that top part of the order.
And it is indeed back to the top of the shop for Alan Picard, and he'll be followed by Colin Walsh. Picard has done a good job setting the table, but it's been Walsh and Mata who have been driving in the runs. Here's a swinging bunt. Kirkpatrick's going to pick it up to flip to first, and coming across is Malor-Zook to get Alan Picard at the bag.
Was that an attempted bunt, Blair? Or
well, it was
just
a
slap
swinging.
hit?
It was a slap swinging bunt. I don't know that he made great contact with it, but he managed to beat it down into the dirt. And Kirkpatrick with the left-handed, barehanded scoop and flip all in one motion. I wasn't sure that Malor-Zook was going to get to the bag in time. Piquet runs very, very well. Bang, bang play at first, called out, but it sets up a sacrifice fly. Here's a chopper on the infield. They're going to come to the plate. Christensen with a strong throw and dead on arrival. And now they're saying he dropped the ball. Is that what the argument is here?
No, I believe he's saying that.
Well, he slid in. I thought he was DOA, but then the ball was on the ground. And Mullins, I think they're saying that he dropped the ball.
I believe so. The fact that there's only one out on the scoreboard right now.
The scoreboard's been very, very slow putting up runs. We're kind of at their mercy, but I think that's what happened. Brad Thompson now down to talk to John Hand. And are they saying maybe it was on the transfer, Joe, that he dropped the ball? Maybe that's what it is. You see the motion there that John Hand is making. That's taking the ball out of the glove. I think that's the transfer. So while the ball was definitely loose, Hiller never made it to the plate.
No, never touched the plate at all.
So I'm going to say 6-2. Adam Hiller is out. And the transfer, it's Colin Walsh still safe at first, and that will bring up Juan Zera, who laced a pitch out to right his last trip, was robbed of a home run. So we've had it all, Joe. We've had a catch and carry out of the park to steal away a home run. We've had a double play. We've now had a runner thrown out of the plate. One hopper to Christensen, and the Gremlins are out of the inning, dodging a big bullet. This one's still scoreless. We've got a hit, but still looking for a run here on the ISC network.
When you're in St. John's, Newfoundland, you're at home. And you're never more at home than when you're at Kelly's Pub, right on famous George Street. Traditional live music and some of the best fish and chips in the city are what you'll get at Kelly's. One of the top fastball sponsors in the country is right here in St. John's. Kelly's Pub, live music, great food, and friendly service. Right around the corner is Three Cheers Pub, home of the three-time Canadian national champions. Three Cheers is downtown St. John's friendly pub. Affordable drinks and great staff with buckets all day, every day. Three Cheers Pub is a proud fastball sponsor. Kelly's Pub and Three Cheers Pub, come and make yourself at home.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
There you see on your monitor, your TV screen at home, the rain returning here to Peter Hallman Ball Yard. If it stays that hard, Joe, that diamond won't be long where it gets to the point where the rain starts to accumulate. It's not raining super hard at the moment, but you don't want
so much in a 24-hour period.
Ben Anoka will lead things off here, top of the fourth inning. One hopper right to Matt Lyon. That came with a bow on it. And he throws out Ben Anoka. One pitch, one out. This is a type of rain that you can play in indefinitely, but it becomes very annoying for the batters when you've got the water dripping off the brim of the batting helmet. The ball gets a little slick for the fielders. Your footing gets a little treacherous in the outfield. It's chopped foul.
You're always concerned about the grip, too, that the pitcher's getting.
Well, you've got the Gorilla Gold, so you should be okay with that for the guys that are using Gorilla Gold. Downstairs. Kirkpatrick down on strikes in the first. Andrew is 3 for 5 with 3 walks in the Gremlins' first 3 games. There's a called strike. Didn't he get lifted for Varm Matosian?
Yes, Varm's batting 1,000.
Yeah, Varm is batting 1,000. Yes, I know. He's leading the tournament.
Has he told you that yet?
Twice.
Right now, he's top batter.
A couple of RBIs, too.
Yes.
We kid Varm because we love him. He's also a supporter. He is Mr. Ned. You know, you won't recognize it from the video, but he is Mr. Ned. And that is Varm in the ad. Coming up, stay with us here. You'll see that ad at the break.
Wanzara making sure that ball's dry, going back to Emil.
Well, for a late game, Joe, this one is moving along at a pretty good clip. We're in the fourth. We only got 1 hit on the board. That a double by Adam Hiller, who flared one down the left field line. The 2 hardest hit balls in the night were Matthew Waugh leading off the game way back in the top of the first, and then Wanzara in the bottom of the first.
Both pitchers struggled early in the game. Himumata walking 3 batters in the first 2 innings. Kirkpatrick walking 2, but both have settled in now.
Well, there's another walk from Mata, so that'll bring up Eric Ochoa. You don't want to keep putting guys on board and giving the Gremlins a chance to run into one. And pinch runner for Kirkpatrick here in the fourth. Is that Milheim that's out there? It probably is.
I believe so.
We don't get the changes up here in the booth, so we have to rely on players to turn around and show us their number. Might be Dan Loney.
No, it's zeros.
Is that zeros?
Blaine Milheim.
Okay, Blaine Milheim indeed. Bobbled, caught. Ochoa hits another missile. And Milheim is lucky to escape. So Malor-Zook will come up with 2 out. Runner on first. This one just misses outside. It's a muddy track, so it's difficult to run. You lose probably half a step, and that usually is the difference between safe and out. Zara tried to shape that one in for John Hand, but he wasn't having anything of it.
Good frame job there, but the experience of John Hand stepping in and making the correct call.
There's a called strike on the outside corner. So 2-1 on Malor-Zook. Milheim running for Kirkpatrick, who walked. Benny Anoka started the inning with a ground out, and then Eric Ochoa lined out. A bunt drops one down by surprise, and that is something that Malor-Zook is able to do and beat those out, but this one bounces foul on him.
Monzera very aggressive back behind that plate, got great bounce, able to get out, chase down those balls.
Still pretty good action out in the right field beer garden, Joe. You see the white tent and the white and blue striped tent on your screen. The Legends guys are in town, the 50 plus. They usually put a pretty good dent in the beer garden.
Oh, we've had some pretty good games for him to watch tonight.
There goes Milheim on the move. Chopped on a hop to Dan Mitchell at short, and he makes the quick throw over to first. And that threat is ended here in the top of the 4th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th, scoreless. Gremlins and Cubs.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 5th Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 5th Avenue in New York or see us online at MrNedNYC.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Var Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
And we do want to thank Var Matosian for his support here on the ISC network. We can't do it without our sponsors. We thank all of them this week for helping us to bring you the games. Momata will lead things off here at the bottom of the 4th inning, looking to help his own cause here. Takes one away. Mata, a walk-off grand slam in the Cubs opener against the Bar on the Avenue Buzz. And this one, well hit, way back and gone. Helps his own cause indeed. A long solo shot to left field. Hallman Cubs up 1-0. No doubt about that, Joe Todd.
Didn't make a mistake on that one. Great follow through, good hands, good bat speed. Putting the first run on the board for the Hallman Cubs.
Great upper body strength there by Huemo Mata. That'll bring up Blake Underwood with the Cubs now out in front 1-0. Called strike on Blake Underwood. It just shows you how quickly the tide can turn and how quickly teams can strike.
Huemo Mata's done a great job on the pitching mound. Now he's coming through with a bat.
And it is kind of one of those old-fashioned games, Joe. Low hits, low-scoring affair, and it's pitchers winning their own games at the plate. Both guys in the cleanup spot. I'm trying to rack my brain as to when we last saw a game where both pitchers were hitting in the cleanup spot. It's been quite a while, especially this deep into the ISC World Tournament, too. I mean, there are lots of pitchers who do still hit. Some even hit in the cleanup spot, but to have two in the same game on the Thursday of the ISC World Tournament is quite the feat, as Underwood chases this one up and out of the zone for strike 3. That will bring up Dan Mitchell.
Yeah, I was trying to rack my brain too, but the only thing I can think about would be back in the Brad Underwood era.
Well, yeah, that might, well, I don't know if it goes back that far for sure. I mean, Undy was in the 90s, but there were games where guys like Brad Underwood and Doug Middleton would bat right in the middle of the lineup, would hit a solo home run, throw a one-hitter, and win the game 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
Mongadoy is another very good stick, but not batting in the circle tap lineup here this week. But it was only a couple of years ago where he banged out 3-4 home runs in the ISC World Tournament. Upstairs, Kirkpatrick with a bit of a sideways word after that pitch. Here's a two-hopper out to Ochoa at first. Took a bit of a funny bounce there, but Ochoa able to handle it. Must have had some spin.
Yeah, we talked about that spin. And that must have been a big spin there as that ball was actually going to his left. Able to corral it, though, and keep the ball in front of him.
The rain comes back a little bit harder again. You see it there in the lights in your shot, and as one arrives on our camera. Bobby Gillow at the plate. Gillow walked. That was in the second inning in his first trip. Inside. Our crowd, Joe, has thinned considerably. Swing and a miss. If you were at the park and you've gone back to the hotel or gone back home, hopefully you have joined us here on the ISC network. And hopefully you stopped for a refreshment on your way out. Swing and a miss. Down goes Bobby Gillow. Down go the Hallman Cubs, but not before a leadoff solo home run deep into a rainy Thursday night here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard as the rain continues to steadily increase. We'll see how long we go with this one. But right now, it's the Cubs out in front, 1-0.
To an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
We're going to have a little meeting on the mound with Pueblo. John Hand is out there issuing some instructions. I think that it's going to have to get a little bit worse before they call the teams in. We haven't looked at a radar in a while, Joe, but you see right there on your screen what the weather looks like. You've got a first-hand view of it. It's not pretty. It becomes more and more difficult to play in. And you've got to put player safety at the foremost, not necessarily player comfort.
No, it's safety more than anything.
Yeah, everybody has played in the rain before, and you'll be able to dry off at some point, but player safety has to be paramount.
Grass gets slipperier.
You see Zenon Winters shaking his head there, trying to get the beads of water off the brim of the batting helmet. This one is stroked to the left, but that is going to go foul down the left side. Mata trying to dry the ball out there as best that they can. We're going to see if we can get that camera cleaned off for you a little bit here. What we need those tearaway strips that they have on the race car drivers' visors.
Oh, yes.
And that's not a new dance move that Puemomata is doing out there. He is trying to bang the dirt out of his cleats upstairs to Winters. This is a red clay diamond that we're on, and that dirt will pack up your cleats like nobody's business, and then it becomes like you've got hush puppies on ice. John Hand is going to go back out and see what the situation looks like. Clean off the board a little bit for Mata to bang some more mud onto it.
Yeah.
Brad Thompson is going to come out and talk with John Hand, or at least see what the situation is. I'm sure the message, frankly, Joe, is listen, again, it's player safety first. We know it's not comfortable out here. It's not comfortable for umpires. It's not comfortable for players. It certainly isn't comfortable for fans. Hopefully you're comfortable at home where you're watching. We're pretty good up here.
Yes.
Colin Walsh bringing out a towel looks like he took from the hotel. Don't tell anybody.
Yes. And that is what it looks like from the inside of the camera as the lens gets cleaned off. See? Look how clean it is now.
Nick Cadis doing a great job here for Sports Canada TV. The boss, Troy L. Brown, will be back in town tomorrow. We look forward to bringing you 5 games of action here in the ISC network, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. We'll run down the full lineup before the end of the night. Right now, Zenon Winters with a long look out at Quemo Mata, upstairs and in. I'm sure that has more to do with a wet ball than anything else.
Exactly, yes.
10 a.m., Joe, it's going to be Myth River Monsters, who are playing in the Friday of the World Tournament for the first time against the host team, the KW Twins. And guess what? You win that, you get Hill United in the afternoon.
That's a bonus.
In the afternoon. You know, we talked about this on the broadcast, Joe, over the years. It's a small matter of degree, but where teams have had success against Adam Falkert in the past. And now Zenon Winters, who can be chirpy at the best of times, has some words for Quemo Mata, as that pitch he thought was up and in deliberately.
I can't see that happening in this situation.
He has no interest here in hitting Zenon Winters.
No.
It does no profit for Quemo Mata in this instance to put a guy on when you're leading 1-0. In the noon game tomorrow, on the bottom of the bracket, it will be the J&B Bombers and the Bear Bottom Lodge. You know who's throwing a really good ball here this week, Joe, is young Michael Hollabraddock for the Bear Bottom Lodge team. They beat the Bloomington Sticks today in a barn burner earlier this afternoon.
Hollabraddock, a big, strong boy.
So now we're going to have a conference with the umpires and the 2 coaches. To see it over there to the left side of your screen, you can see the weather worsening by the second here, and it's like every minute we delay, the worse it gets. Zenon Winters seems to have settled down a little bit. Pretty animated conversation here. And we're going to get the teams off the field. So we'll stay with this on the video for a few moments. We'll wait and see if we can get some word from the tournament organizers as to what their thoughts are, whether we're going to try and resume play later tonight, or if this is it for the evening and try and resume this game in the morning. We'll come back and let you know what we hear. Stay with us on the video. Joe and I will be back.
To an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and Indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an Indigenous perspective. Listen live at jacasaradio.ca or download the Jacasa Radio app free from your app store.
A legendary pitcher. Unbreakable records.
That's got a mile. Goes a mile high to the wall, to the track. Saved by baseball.
And that ball's lifted up and going back to left field. What a great grab. Off speed is deep, and you can get out of this ballpark.
5 Hall of Famers. 3 World Championships.
And that ball is driven out deep.
Hit from Parker is driven deep. Shane Bowen to the fence. It's gone. Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run.
The Toronto Gators, gone but not forgotten.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Kitchener Rivershire Twins repeat. Back to back Jets! It's the local kid who wins it.
Swing and a miss. Jarvis. 3 peats.
Adam Falter. Absolutely.
Here comes the throw to the plate. Are the world champions.
2015 ISC Men's World Champions.
Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run, and the Toronto Gators are world champions.
Finally, it's Adam on to first, and the United Chiefs back to the top of the mountain.
ISC Canada East, home of champions.
When you're in St. John's, Newfoundland, you're at home. And you're never more at home than when you're at Kelly's Pub, right on famous George Street. Traditional live music and some of the best fish and chips in the city are what you'll get at Kelly's. One of the top fastball sponsors in the country is right here in St. John's. Kelly's Pub, live music, great food, and friendly service. Right around the corner is 3 Cheers Pub, home of the 3-time Canadian national champions. 3 Cheers is downtown St. John's friendly pub. Affordable drinks and great staff with buckets all day, every day. 3 Cheers Pub is a proud fastball sponsor. Kelly's Pub and 3 Cheers Pub, come and make yourself at home.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at MrNedNYC.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Varn Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
And we're back here on the ISC network, still drizzle coming down, but a little lighter than it was. Some stay dry gets down on the field. Zenon Winters promptly took it on himself to kick it all out of the batter's box.
3 balls, 1 strike to Zenon.
Big healthy cut, anticipating that. Huemo Mata would want to come in with a strike. Zenon was right after it. Zenon Winters, rather, right after it.
This is the big pitch right here. Oh, time was called.
Chopper on the infield. Hiller comes to get it, loses his balance, but able to complete the toss to first and get Zenon Winters.
Adam Hillier, a great defensive second baseman. Always in position, reads the ball well off the bat. Great range.
Brian Avery will come to the plate. Brian grounded into a very slick 1-6-3 double play to end the second inning. Downstairs from Mata. This game, Joe, pretty much batter to batter right now between the Cubs and the Gremlins. The Cubs nursing this 1-0 lead, but you almost get the sense that it really is batter to batter, pitch to pitch. Any of these guys can tie this game with one swing.
They're all good hitters, that whole Gremlin lineup. 1 through 9 can do that.
And with the conditions the way they are, one missed pitch, a pitch that doesn't break where it's supposed to, and you leave something flat out over the plate.
Game could be tied up very quickly.
Called strike on the inside corner. With that said, this is the top of the 5th inning, and early getting a little late here for the New York Gremlins, who have been putting up runs by the dozen here this week. 14-9-14.
Gremlins still looking for their first hit.
This one is going to get fouled back out of play. We've seen, Joe, weather play a real factor over the years in some games. I think back to 2014 and the cold weather that we've had here, and the Hallman Twins and the Bloomington Sticks in a game that put the Twins into the losers bracket in 2014. Of course, Hallman would come all the way around the back way to the ISC championship game that year, losing 2-1 to Hill United Chiefs on a Craig Crawford walk-off single. And you only have to go back to last year to Whitehorse, the Canada-New Zealand debacle. With Canada way out in front, the game gets called. Canadians getting back out onto the field, having to play in the rain, just as New Zealand did in the top of the inning. And Canada scored 11, and New Zealand put, 12 or something back up on the board the other way, again, in the rain. And the weather playing a factor for both sides in that particular game.
Colin Walsh now carrying that towel in the back belt area.
Like a football quarterback. Nothing wrong with that pitch there. Just reached back and blew it right by Brian Avery. Huemo Mata not letting the weather get the best of him here.
5th strikeout for Mata tonight.
Nick Mullins will try to get the Gremlins on the board. one of these teams will join the Circle Tap Dukes. Yes, the Circle Tap Dukes in the winners bracket final. Circle Tap 3-1 winners tonight over Hill United. Roman Godoy, an exceptional game.
Very fired up, Roman Godoy. Showing a lot of exuberance at the end of the game.
That pitch handcuffed Juan Zera. Got a called strike, but I'm not sure, Joe, if that is exactly what he was expecting. We'll have a quick chat about, no, when I put down 2 fingers, it means this. I don't care what you thought you saw. I put down 2 fingers.
Yeah, I remember a few instances where the catchers have actually put nail polish on to make sure
I've seen that a few times. Yeah, guys will go out and dip their fingers in the chalk line to make them a little bit brighter. Mullins laces this one down the line. There's the first base hit for the Gremlins. He's going to throw out the anchor about 4 steps past first and retreat back.
Good punch out there by Nick Mullins. Picking up the first hit by the Gremlins, as Blair had stated, setting up the top of the order now.
Well, 3rd time through now for the Gremlins to see Huemo Mata. Matthew Waugh, a line shot leading off the game, and then a pop-up. Called strike.
Mata going right at Matthew Waugh.
Yeah, you know, Joe, it's funny. I mean, it's hard to say who's got the advantage in these types of weather conditions. Waugh swings and misses through that offering. It's harder, obviously, for the pitchers to grip the ball. For batters, you've got rain falling in your eyes, and it's harder to hang on to the bat. It just makes playing a hard game even more difficult.
Exactly. Mata way up in the count right now. No balls, 2 strikes.
This one is laced out to the gap in left center. Coming across and making the catch is Bobby Gillow, cutting that one off. Looked like Matthew Waugh might have found a hole out there, but Gillow does a good job to take that away from Matthew Waugh and strand the first base hit of the game for the Gremlins. And Joe, while we've got the opportunity, as Nick Cadis is back out about to clean your windshield, why don't we run down what the broadcast schedule is intended to be for tomorrow. We don't know whether the weather is going to cooperate with us, but we will endeavor to bring you 5 games tomorrow. We talked about Nith River and the Hallman Twins tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. At noon, Bear Bottom Lodge, and we started to talk about Michael Hall-Braddock right before that 5-minute rain delay, and the J&B Bombers. That'll be a good one, as 2 good young pitchers in Devin McCullough and Hall-Braddock will hook up in that one. At 2 p.m., it will be Hill United taking on the winner of Nith River and the Twins. And at 4 p.m., the loser of this game will play the winner of Bear Bottom and the Bombers. There's a lot of work to be done to get back to Championship Saturday still to come. And then tomorrow night at 7, scheduled start time. Circle Tap Dukes already in the winner bracket final. And the winner of this one, right now, the Hallman Cubs out in front of the New York Gremlins. Hands up, who had the Hallman Cubs and the Circle Tap Dukes in the winners bracket final? You're lying if your hand is up right now. Big cut by Matty Lyon, leading things off for the Hallman Cubs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Joe, again, early's getting a little late here for the Gremlins, down to their last 9 outs. And Huemo Mata showing no signs of slowing down right now.
Mata's doing a great job containing the bats of the Gremlins tonight. Even though this light drizzle, he's trying to stay ahead in the counts. That's very key.
Kirkpatrick losing his footing out there on the mound. Now that's not the first time that's ever happened to Andrew Kirkpatrick either. He can fall down on a dry and dusty diamond at the best of times. But this doesn't mean that it's not treacherous footing out there.
Hallman Cubs trying to get some offense going, trying to add to that 1 run that they put on the board back in the 4th inning by that big home run by Huemo Mata.
Juan Podolicio getting some work in down the line for the New York Gremlins. He's just out of your camera range beyond first base umpire Ed Otterman. Lyon leads off that rise ball. He flew out to right in his first trip back in the 2nd inning. And some good patience here by Matt Lyon to work the count. 2-2, I believe, was what was put up there. And called strike 3, Matt Lyon. Taps the outside corner of the plate. That's exactly where it was, Matty, right on the outside corner.
You got to stay aggressive with 2 strikes.
That'll bring up Adam Hiller. Adam doubled with the game's first hit back in the 3rd inning. He was cut down on the plate by a good play by the shortstop, Jenner Christensen, to get Hiller at the plate.
Hiller with that real wide stance at the plate. Kirkpatrick catching that outside corner of the plate. No balls, 2 strikes.
And swing and a miss. Down goes Adam Hiller. Kirkpatrick not wasting any time there, Joe, on any show-me pitches or waste pitches. He just went right after him with strike 1, strike 2, and strike 3.
Well, it's very important that you kind of do the best you can in this weather situation that you can and get your team off the field and get them in swinging the bats.
Jackknifing back from that was Alan Picard, but he was on the inside corner for John Hand. Picard not that close to the plate, but he does step into it. Healthy cut there from the youngster.
Picard with real quick hands. Great bat speed.
Room service there for Andrew Kirkpatrick from Eric Ochoa. Brought the ball right over to him. And swing and a miss. Down goes Picard. Down go the Hallman Cubs in the 5th as Andrew Kirkpatrick turns up the dial a little bit. Gets his 4th straight strikeout. We're going to go to the 6th. The Cubs out in front. The Gremlins coming to the plate. Stay with us.
to an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
Back here on the ISC network, you see what 40 minutes of constant drizzle looks like on a diamond. Jerome Remeke at the plate for the New York Gremlins.
Great movement by the Cubs infield.
Our home plate camera just continues to get waterlogged, so we're going to stay with this shot coming to you from the first base dugout. Our center field camera was an early victim of the weather. As I'm sure most of you know, water and electronics do not mix well. Mata struggling with the control a little bit here, falling behind Remeke 2-1. Remeke walked in the first, reached as far as second, and struck out in the third to end the third. Big cut there, comes up empty, big uppercut swing.
Mata going right at Remeke, just challenging him. All even now at the 2-2 count.
Foul back to the screen. And our first base camera. Bit of a malfunction, so stay with us as we fight through the elements. Nick Cadis is going to head out to take a look at the cameras, and we'll try and get this one cleaned off and then find out what's happened to the first base one. It's still there. hasn't blown over. Yeah, we'll let you know. The perils of live TV and outdoor elements. Hard single by Remeke right through the 3.5 hole on out to right field.
Great start for the Gremlins here in the top of the 6th inning. Number 2 batter Jerome Remeke getting on.
And there's just no let up with this Gremlins lineup. There's nobody that you can take it easy with. You have to focus every single batter. Just getting too much of the plate there was Huemo Mata. And Remeke driving a 2-hopper right through the infield. Looks like we're going to get a pinch runner for Remeke. Got a couple of candidates here on the list. I would look most likely at Dan Loney. And we know it's not going to be Var Matiosian.
Is it Chase?
It could be Chase Turner.
That's what I'm thinking.
77 Chase Turner.
No.
That starts with a 2. Hard hopper, Matty Lyons, a 1-hop to throw at second base.
Campbell Anoka.
Campbell Anoka is going to come into third. Sliding into second is Ben Anoka. He smoked that ball at Matty Lyon, who bobbled it, tried to force the play at second, I thought, knowing that it was Ben Anoka running, and 1-hopped Adam Hiller, who never really had a shot at that play at second. So runners now, 2 runners in scoring position. And it will be Andrew Kirkpatrick coming to the plate. And I got to think, Joe, that you put Andrew Kirkpatrick on here. The thing is, you have to throw 4 pitches in the rain wide.
Well, big part of the game right here. The meat of the order for the Gremlins. Going to be interesting to see if they do pitch to him.
It looks like they're going to go after him. Eric Ochoa, no prize, waiting on deck, but with a base open right now, the Cubs electing not to pitch around Andrew Kirkpatrick. Laced past a diving Matty Lyon. Here comes one Anoka. Here comes another. And Andrew Kirkpatrick puts his team into the lead.
Well, back in the 4th inning, we saw Hallman Mata give his team the lead. Now Andrew Kirkpatrick replies with a big single, driving in the go-ahead runs for the New York Gremlins.
Andrew Kirkpatrick, perhaps the hottest player this summer on the tournament circuit. And I wonder, Joe, if they had that decision to make over again, would they pitch around Andrew Kirkpatrick with a base open, set up a force play?
Andrew going the other way with that ball, but very hard hit ball.
Eric Ochoa, strikeout in the 1st and a line shot in the 4th. Now, you cannot run for Kirkpatrick at this point. He's already been substituted for once. He has to run the bases. This one is lifted high down the left side in foul territory and totally out of our line of vision. Ochoa going back to the dugout. I'm going to assume that a catch was made out there by Bob Gillow.
Scoreboard has gone out now.
We will catch up our score graphic, but know that it is 2-1 for the New York Gremlins, as we're battling the elements all over the place now. Malher-Zook at the plate. Our producer, Nick Cadis, is out working with that first base camera, but we've got a functioning home plate camera for the time being. Malher-Zook crouched over, turns, squares, and pulls the bat back. Kirkpatrick was scrambling back to first.
Great movement by the Cubs infield.
One down here in the inning. A hard hit single by Jerome Remeke. Another hard hit fielder's choice for Ben Anoka. Slap off the glove of Mata, can't come up with it. And everybody is safe. Kirkpatrick up to second, and Malher-Zook aboard at first. Give some credit there to Huemo Mata for knocking that ball down. It was going to get through the infield, make no mistake. So he keeps runners at first and second and keeps the force intact rather than having runners on the corners. But getting a little unraveled here are the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs, as Zenon Winters will come to the plate with Kirkpatrick in scoring position.
Real hard hit ball there by Malher-Zook, though.
And the New York Gremlins, despite what you see on screen, the Gremlins are leading this game 2-1. Big cut there from Winters and knocks some rain onto our camera just to make it more difficult for you. Thanks, Zenon. Doing a great job out there. Mata a long look into Juan Zera for a sign. And now Winters calls time.
Remember the situation we had back in the 5th inning with Emil Mata and Zenon Winters.
Hard chopper through the infield. That's going to score Kirkpatrick. Coming around into third is Malherzuk and gives Zenon Winters another RBI to add to his total this tournament. Having a good one.
Big RBI there, giving a 2-run lead to the New York Gremlins. Gremlins picking up 3 runs so far. We'll try and update our scoreboard when Nick Cadiz gets back.
Greg Leather out making more changes. You see him just to the left on your screen. Brian Avery at the plate. And running for Zenon Winters. And Zenon Winters runs pretty well, actually, so. Again, we don't get the changes up here. We'd love to report them to you. We're relying on players to turn around so we can see them by number. Here's a chopper on the infield. Lyons barehands it, looks at the plate, and that's going to cost him the out at first. Malherzuk, who is very quick, scored easily on the play. And safe at first is Avery, who runs well. And just that moment of indecision, Joe, was enough for Avery to reach first safely.
Exactly. Matt Lyon had to make up his mind quick, out right when that ball's off the bat, which way he's going with it. He hesitated and did not get the play. Gremlins picking up 4 runs this inning.
Well, it's Jenner Christensen, the flex, who is in to run for Zenon Winters, who is the designated player. So Christensen out at second. Avery at first. Nick Mullins now at the plate. And this one is blasted through the middle as well. Here's the throw, the play at the plate, safe at the plate. Getting around Juan Zera is Jenner Christensen. And the New York Gremlins breaking this one wide open, Joe. Now 5-1 for the Gremlins.
Just finding the holes. Hitting the ball very hard, though, this inning.
Well, they've all been right back up the middle, too. They've all been squared up. They've all been right back up the middle. And your camera, unfortunately, looks about as well as the Kitchener Cubs feel right now. Kind of.
Don Scott going
blue.
in.
So Donnie Scott will come on in relief. You actually saw Greg Leather almost in a trot there for a second. So 5-1 for the New York Gremlins here in the top of the 6th inning. RBIs to Brian Avery, to Zenon Winters, 2 RBIs to Andrew Kirkpatrick. And give one to Nick Mullins to boot. Donnie Scott came into the game against Ostrander last night and struggled early in his appearance with a couple of walks before giving up 1 run, but ultimately getting the save for the Cubs against the Ostrander team. Well, maybe not a save, I guess, because he came in with less or greater than a 3-run lead. Do you remember the save rules?
Yes, that's correct.
So, Joe, we ran down some of the permutations for the broadcast tomorrow. Again, just a reminder, we're on the air at 10 a.m. tomorrow, followed by noon, 2, 4, and 7 p.m. as we bring you 5 broadcasts. Comprehensive coverage of the 2018 ISC World Tournament here in Kitchener, Ontario at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. ISC Network, Blair Setford, Joe Todd, late into the evening. In fact, I think it's early into the morning at this point, is it? You just have to tell me the time. Just don't flash your watch.
10 to 1.
Easier. Thank you very much. Because been a busy day here on the ISC Network. Started with the ISC 2 championship game. Congratulations to the Irma Tigers, winning 5-1 over the St. John's, Newfoundland 3 Cheers Pub squad. Circle Tap Dukes, 3-1 winners. Upset winners over the Hill United Chiefs, and now New York Gremlins. Trailed in this one for quite a while, but they've broken this one open here in the 6th with 5 runs and counting. Still runners out at first and second. Still only 1 out. Matthew Waugh becomes the 9th batter of the inning, and Donnie Scott on in relief of Hoimo Mata. Donnie wondering where that pitch missed. Unfortunately, as we're battling the elements, excuse me, the elements are winning at the moment with our camera at the very least.
We will try and keep you updated as best as we can.
Waugh fends this one off. There's a little flare out into the left. Abry will come around to score to make it 6-1. And Joe, at the rate the Gremlins are going, you got to start to think now about the run roll.
Potentially, yes.
Because you got the guys coming up who started all this mess in the first place. Remeke. And is he back in, or are we batting Campbell Anoka? No, Remeke has been re-entered because Campbell Anoka came on to run for him earlier this inning. He started all of this with a hard hit single through the right side.
Go, Romy! Come on, Romy!
He came around to score on the Andrew Kirkpatrick single, as did, well, Campbell Anoka came around to score, as did big brother Ben. This one gets through the wickets of Zara and move everybody else up 60 feet. And the mistakes continue to compound now for the Hallman Cubs.
Those are 2 big runners now in scoring position, though.
So that's Dan Loney running out at third for Mullins. The bench has just about been emptied here by Coach Greg Leather. And that is one of the advantages of having a deep bench populated with some speedsters.
Here we go, Romy!
Called a strike on the inside corner. Donnie Scott never afraid to work inside.
Hey, so what, Romy? So what?
Scott might have to go back into that same position. Try to jam Ramaki on his hands.
When they went to the outside corner there, and Donnie Scott throws up the hands in frustration, thought he painted the outside corner. So John Hand is going to come out and have a conversation with Donnie Scott. I got to think that this is all about what the strike zone looks like. Donnie is going to mostly be on the receiving end of that one.
I imagine so.
We got our first base camera back, thanks to Nick Cadis, who was out doing some electrical work in the rain. That's always safe, too. Grounds crew as well helping us. Scoreboard was out as well. That's back. Remeke fouls this one off. Good grab over there by Benny Anoka standing on deck. It's been a challenging evening, to say the least, for our broadcast. Just missing the outside corner. Scott not happy he can't get that call. As we were talking about earlier, the Gremlins now in danger, for the Cubs fans at least, in danger of this getting run ruled if Remeke is able to bring around these couple of runs that are out at second and third.
Donnie Scott trying to find a big strike on that inside portion of the plate. Do not want Jerome Remeke to be able to extend those arms. Got a lot of upper body strength there.
Oh, that one gets Donnie Scott. They're going to come to the plate, and out at the plate is Dan Loney. Good recovery by Donnie Scott, who wore that one pretty hard. So Remeke aboard with a fielder's choice. Loney running for Mullins is cut down at the plate. And that's only still just now the second out of the inning, as Ben Anoka becomes the 11th batter of the inning for the New York Gremlins. 6 runs on 6 hits this inning. And he gets a called strike on the upper part of the zone. Joe, for a long time, it really did look like that Huemo Mata home run from back in the early innings, the 4th, looked like it might stand up.
You wonder how much of the weather played into that situation.
It's entirely possible. But right up until the end, Mata was still throwing hard. It didn't look like grip on the ball was an issue.
And it's not that those hits that the Gremlins got were off field, or a lot of them were hard hit balls.
They were hard hit balls right up the middle. This one gets through. Here's it play at the plate. Sliding underneath it is Waugh. As he and Donnie Scott kind of get hung up at the plate. But Waugh underneath the throw and the tag. Donnie Scott never really got a hold of it. So that makes it 7-1. Looking ever more likely that it will be the New York Gremlins advancing to the winter bracket final to play the Circle Tap Dukes. And yes, if you're just waking up somewhere in New Zealand or Australia, you heard me right. The Circle Tap Dukes, 3-1 winners over Hill United earlier this evening. Roman Godoy with one of the best games that he has thrown here in ISC play. Adam Falkard, 6 walks, 13 strikeouts in the game, but the walks were his undoing, including a bases loaded walk. In fact, I think you had 2 runs scoring bases loaded walks in that game, right?
Yes, we did.
One by Godoy, one by Adam. This one right to the screen, no mascot. Jerome Remeke is out at second base. Looks rather lonely out there. But if Benny Anoka is able to bring him around, that would represent a run rule should the Gremlins be able to get 3 outs in the bottom of the inning.
Good quick hands by Ben. All worked up to a full count now.
Swing and a miss. Down go the Gremlins after sending 11 men to the plate. They put up 7 runs on 6 hits and a couple of errors, helping the cause or hindering, depending on your particular perspective. They'll lead 7-1. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th with the Hallman Cubs now trailing. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Colin Walsh comes to the plate for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it is a drastically different ball game than it was an inning ago, Joe Todd, as the Gremlins strike fast and furious there in the top of the 6th inning, piling up 7 runs.
The ball really hard that inning. Finally broke open. Got the 1 hit back in the 5th inning and then 6 hits back in the 6th inning.
Last we saw Andrew Kirkpatrick, he had struck out 4 in a row. And looks like he would like to make it 5. He's looking stronger here, despite the fact that they've got Juan Podolicio in his orange shoes continuing to warm up down the line. Walsh reaches out and pokes this one foul, back off the screen and right back to Kirkpatrick. I wonder what kind of grief Podolicio has taken for those shoes. Here's a chopper out to short. Jenner Christensen with the flip to first for the first out of the inning.
Great play by Christensen. Great transfer there.
He is very smooth out there, isn't he? From California, played baseball before coming over to fast pitch softball, or fastball if you like. Now we should say that the diamond isn't quite as muddy as it will appear in this particular shot. You're getting a lot of reflection from the lights that are showing up But it is a bit of a muddy track out there, as they would say at the horse races.
Imagine it's fairly well slowed down right now, too. More deliberate bounces.
Juan Zera at the plate. You have to wonder how different this ball game would be. Juan Zera back all the way back in the first inning. A line shot out to right. Brian Avery tracking it to the fence, timing the jump perfectly, crashing through that breakaway fence, taking the ball with him for a catch and carry in the final out of the first inning. And how the momentum might have swung if he doesn't come up with that one.
Great defensive play that was. One of the highlights of the game.
Had an ocean to go. Kirkpatrick just wanted the call. This game was scoreless through 3. Huemo Mata sent a moonshot out to left in the 4th to give the Cubs the 1-0 lead. And their only run. That stood up for an inning and a half. It looked like Mata had things on cruise control, quite honestly, until the 6th. Remeke led off with that hard hit single. It was only the second hit of the game for the Gremlins to that point, but that was followed by hit after hit after hit after hit, a slew of RBIs all the way down the lineup and back up to the top for Matthew Waugh. 11 batters later, they had banged out 6 hits and 7 runs and effectively put paid to this one.
Just couldn't stop the ball from rolling there for that Gremlin team.
No, it really was just a snowball rolling downhill at that point. That ball got out on the grass. It's going to need a towel. They threw it to the wrong guy who doesn't have the towel anymore. Ed Otterman shows why he's an umpire and not a player over there with that set of hands. Patrick's carrying the ball around in his bare hand. He put it in his glove and he kept it upright. He wonders why it was wet. Didn't like that one. Try this one. So after all that, we'll get Juan Zera back into the box. A full count on Juan. And swing and a miss. Down goes Zera. 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Huemo Mata still in the game as the designated player. Don Scott was on the lineup card in the flex position, so he can enter the game defensively. Huemo Mata stays in batting.
8 strikeout for Kirkpatrick.
All the other diamonds are dark. We are the last standing game of the evening. Hasn't always been the case, but usually is here on Diamond 1. And Joe, as early as last night was, tonight,
not so much.
The latest of the week is Mata chases one of his eyes. A little tap on the head. There'll be no Ryan Cokes for you tonight at Jack Astor's. Called strike.
Have a little nip before we hit the pillow.
Brought a bottle, did you?
Potentially, yep.
Well, either you did or you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Attaboy. Fouled back. Mata has one of only 2 hits for the Cubs tonight. Of course, it was a big, long home run. Adam Hiller had a little flare double down the left side back in top of the bottom rather of the third inning. Mata's hit was in the fourth. Swing and a miss. Down goes Huemo Mata. And Andrew Kirkpatrick, since that home run, has not allowed a thing. He has been dominant. 7-1. We'll go to the top of the seventh. Stay with us here on the ISC Network. It's the man of the hour, Andrew Kirkpatrick, pitching a gem, and he's got the game-winning RBIs under his belt at the moment. The New York Gremlins looking pretty good, Joe, I think, at this point, to punch their ticket to the winner's bracket final tomorrow night, scheduled for a 7 p.m. start. Weather permitting. Swing and a miss.
Big cut by Andrew.
Doesn't get cheated there at the plate for such a big man. He's got a very fluid swing. Well back at first base. You see him right on the right side of your screen there. Here's a 2-hopper, 3-hopper, picked up by Hiller, and he will flip to Colin Walsh, who was well back of the bag, respecting the power of Andrew Kirkpatrick.
Great range by Hillier there.
So that'll bring up Eric Ochoa. He's 0 for 3. I think he's the only Gremlin tonight without a hit. He won't like that.
Here we go.
Benny Anoka, I think, has a fielder's choice.
He's got a fielder's choice, yep.
Yeah.
Brian Avery, too, still got a run scored.
No, Avery had one of those bouncers up the middle, didn't he?
No, I'm with an error to Matt Lyons.
Oh, you give an error on that play? Okay. I think the board did too. They did have 2 errors at one point. Working out all the kinks here for you. Ochoa, Adam Hiller again. And we flip to first for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Ladislav Malazuk. Run scored tonight. Got the uniform dirty. Big cut comes up empty. Donnie Scott comes in hard and inside. And fouled straight back to the screen. So 0-2. Scott has Malazuk down in a hole, looking to have a clean inning and try and get his team to the bats for the bottom of the 7th. Bit of a weak offering at that one, so down go Mallorzuk and the Gremlins in the top of the 7th. We will go to the bottom of the 7th. Last call coming up.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and Indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an Indigenous perspective. Listen live at jukasaradio.ca or download the Jukasa Radio app free from your app store.
And we're back for the bottom of the 7th here. Blake Underwood to lead things off and a foul tip. Andrew Kirkpatrick, since giving up that home run, has sat down everybody. 9 straight.
Seven strikeouts during that 9 batters.
Only Walsh and Mitchell able to get the ball into play. There's a big cut. Still going strong. Andrew Kirkpatrick still looks pretty spry out there, Joe.
That rise ball just jumped there.
This one punch foul down the right side and out of play. We're going to need a new ball likely after that. Nestles up against the grass. Mallorzuk will throw that one right into the dugout. Kirkpatrick's already got one ready to go. Joe, this park, which was absolutely packed for the end of the ISC 2 game and into the Hill United game. This one is lifted out to right. Avery will take a step to his right, settle under it for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
I give full credit to those people that have stayed around.
Well, there are a handful of them here still at the park. A couple of brave souls out in the beer garden. And there's probably a few people underneath the awning in front of us, but given the time and the weather, you can't blame them.
No.
There are a couple hardy souls out there in center field perched under tents, too. I wonder if they're staying there for the night. Those are full camping tents out there. Not just those soccer mom things.
Yeah.
Danny Mitchell, pair of groundouts tonight. This one up and in.
Mitchell still looking for his first hit of the game. Grounded out shortstop and played direct down to Eric Ochoa.
And this one well hit, deep right field. Do we get a replay here with Brian Avery? He's going to turn and watch this one go. Home run, Danny Mitchell.
Dan got all of that ball. No doubt about that one.
Well, you said, Joe, that he was looking for his first hit. He got his first hit, first run, first home run. And Danny Mitchell gives the Cubs a little bit of life here in the bottom of the 7th.
Still a 5-run deficit on the board.
Bobby Gillow at the plate. Bobby, a walk all the way back in the second inning. Down on strikes in the fourth. Chases after that one. Kirkpatrick, again, struggling with the landing a little bit, wants to fill it in, tamp it down. But so many guys who wanted to dig it up over the course of the week. Other guys want it filled in. Just misses off the outside corner. Upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And this one is hit the center. Going back, Beninoka, he'll retreat back and make the grab at what almost would be the warning track if there were one. Bobby Gillow flies out to center field. And that will bring us to Matt Lyon, the last hope here for the Hallman Cubs. Joe Todd, as we get ready to wrap up, it's been a busy day. Obviously the story of the night, the Circle Tap Dukes, the big win over the Hill United Chiefs, knocking them into the losers bracket. And we've often said that if you were going to win this tournament, you would need to beat the Chiefs and knock them into the losers bracket. Circle Tap will play the Gremlins, almost certainly. Give it about a 99.9% chance at this point.
It certainly does make that other side of that bracket that much tougher now.
Yeah, you've got to go through Hill United to even get to Saturday if you're the Hallman Twins. But Hill United would need to win 3 in a row on Saturday to reclaim the title. That's a tall task.
Yes.
Now, when you've got a Pablo Migliavaca and you've got a Justin Schofield, it's not an impossible task.
No.
It is a tall task.
You have the arms there to...
You do. You do have some arms, and you don't have to have Adam Falkert pitch every game. Upstairs. On this side of the bracket, the Gremlins look to have it going their way. But they're going to face a stern test tomorrow night. This one is lifted up into right. Avery will come in to collect it for the final out of the inning. A trio of fly balls to end it, sandwiched around a home run by Danny Mitchell. The final score, the Gremlins 7, the Cubs 2. Come back and join us at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday for the first of 5. Who is going to get to Championship Saturday? We'll find out tomorrow. Thank you and good night.